Hi my Stampin' friends, I'm Sandra at artypapercrafters.com, an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, and today I have another tutorial for you, and I am really over the moon with this tutorial because I had an idea that the idea came from when I was looking through my recipe books. Let me show you. Yes, so the idea came when I was looking through my recipe books, and I made these little bookmark things for my recipe books. I made quite a few of them some years ago, and they fit into my recipe book, and if I want to write any little notes on, I can. But then I realised that they weren't waterproof and they got splashed with cooking ingredients, and then they weren't that big either, so I decided that I would make them bigger and try and make them waterproof. So that is when I came up with this. So this was my first one that I made, and then I thought I'm going to cover them in some nice thick acetate. So I made this, plenty of room to write on, and more room there, and I thought, well, that's cute. So I got the fabulous foil, which is this fabulous foil. This is the fabulous foil acetate. It's really, really gorgeous. You get 6 sheets, 2 of each, and they measure 12 by 12, and they've got gold foiling on one side and silver foiling on the opposite. So I thought, well, that's lovely. So I came up with this, and then I thought, when I made the acetate sleeve, it wasted a lot of acetate because you could only make one from the acetate, and I thought that's very wasteful. So I thought, you need to come up with different sizings. So that's when I came up with this size, and I thought, well, this is a perfect size. It's a good size. You've still got plenty of room to write on the back or the front, and I loved it. So I thought that is what I'm going to go with. So I'm going to show you how I made these today. This uses the Everyday Label Punch from My Kitchen to Yours. I've also used, to make it, so we're going to make one, and I have used a piece of cardstock. This is Blushing Bride, and it measures 10 inches by 2 5/8, and it's scored at 5 inches. Then I've got a piece of DSP, and this DSP comes from the new Fresh Florals stack. Very pretty, and that measures 4 3/4 by 2 3/8. Then I've got a piece of Whisper White for the front as well. That measures 2 1/8 by 2 1/8. A piece of Whisper White for the back, which measures 4 1/2 by 2 3/8 inches. This piece is a piece that we're going to stamp from My Kitchen to Yours. And this is one of these stitched shaped oval framelets that I've cut out, and that measures 2 3/4 inches by 1 3/4 inches. And then we've got a piece of the fabulous foil, as you can see, silver one side, gold the other. Lovely and thick, really thick, really thick, would last years. So that is what we're going to use, 6 by 6, and of course with my new measurements it means that you've got going to make 4 from one sheet, and that to me is good value for money. So let's get on and make it. So we've got our piece. We're going to fold that in half with our bone folder and burnish that down. And then we are going to stick on our piece of DSP. And these are easy to make, so no problems with that. When I can get my ink flowing, we'll get some on. Right then, so that goes on here. Just centre that on there nicely. Like that. And then what I did on this piece here was I got my corner rounder punch, my Project Life corner rounder punch, and punched all 4 corners because I like rounded corners. So that goes on here. And now we are going to stamp our sentiment. First we're going to stick this piece on the back. And then we're going to stamp our sentiment. Move that out of the way. So you could use lined paper for this if you wanted to. So that's good on there. Right then. So we'll stick that on in a moment. Let's do our sentiment. So we've got our stamp set, and we want from this, from my kitchen to yours, onto our block. And we are going to match it with our paper, so we're going to use a berry burst because that matches our DSP. So into the berry burst, stamp that up, stamp it down. Perfect. Right, so then we've got the pretty label punch, which this stamp set matches with, and you can buy it as a bundle. You'll save 10% if you buy the stamp set with this matching label punch. Centre that in there, and punch down. Lovely. Right then, let's get this put together. So that is going on here. So let's get a bit of our glue. Put that on the middle there. Right then, did I stand that up? Yes, so now we are going to stand that up with some dimensionals. So I've used 3. Keep them towards the middle, not these outer edges, and I'll show you why in a moment. So now we're going to lay this on, and we're going to lay it on so that we've got about the same amount at both the right and left hand side. So down like that. And now you'll see that that sticks out very slightly on both sides. So with your scissors you're going to chop that off. That's it. Now the reason that I've had to do that, and I didn't want to, but I worked out that I wouldn't fit this in a 6 by 6 if I didn't. So you can see that I've trimmed the edges off that, but it really doesn't matter a great deal because you've still got an absolutely beautiful, I mean absolutely gorgeous, isn't that? Wouldn't that, if you gave that to a cook, someone who loves baking, they're going to love that. Put that in their book, keep it clean, take that out, write notes for themselves, put that back, stick that back in their book. Fabulous. Fabulous idea. Right, so a bit of wet glue on our small piece for the front. And if you need any crafting supplies, you can purchase them from my online shop, and I would love to be your demonstrator. So put that on there, and then we need our 1/8 of an inch punch, and we are going to punch in the middle up by about, what would I say, up by about 1/2 inch, maybe 1/4 inch. Centre it as well as you can and punch. And there we are, we have our little hole for our ribbon. And I haven't prepped up my ribbon, so what ribbon am I going to use? I think I'm going to use a piece of this, am I? Yes, that's nice, isn't it? So just measure off a little length. This is stitched ribbon. I think it's retired now, but there is something very, very similar in the online shop. And any ribbon that you've got will be beautiful. Just make sure that it coordinates with your papers, because a coordinated project is a much well-rounded project. So don't forget to remember to link all your colours when you make things, because it really does make a difference to the finish. Trust me, I know, that's why I love these Stampin' Up! Products so much, because everything coordinates. Lovely, so that's that part of our recipe done. So that's our card bit done for our cookery book, or it could even, you could even put it in a reading book. I mean, there's no reason why not. So let's now make our acetate sleeve. Right then, so like I said before, we've got a piece of acetate that measures 6 by 6 inches. And let me just get my measurements. And that is 15.2 by 15.2. Now we're going to score it at 2 3/4. So if you've got a pattern, you will want your pattern to be uppermost on this first set of score lines. Now, this acetate being really, really thick, you need to really score it well. So we're scoring at 2 3/4 and 5 1/2. And then we're going to score it at 1 inch, at 1/2 inch on the piece that you want to be the top, because this hat is open-ended at the bottom, so you're going to close it down on your top. And I've just realised I forgot to put my lights on. Excuse my head coming over, but I need to get my lights on, otherwise my husband will tell me off. Right then, so that's our scoring done. Get rid of the board. Whoops. Now with your bone folder, you're going to have to fold this over and really press that down really, really well, because this paper, you've got to show this acetate who's boss. I'm the boss. And then our other score line. Now, in order to get your score lines correct, all you need to now do is line that up with the edge of your 1/2 inch score and press that down really, 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 really well. Just keep working it. I'm the boss, not you. And then our little top score line, fold that over. The quality of this is absolutely amazing. It's really gorgeous stuff and pretty with it. Absolutely lovely. So that's that done. So now that comes round there, that goes round there, and that's our back. And then we want this piece here to go over the back there. So we are going to cut off this 1/2 inch piece. get my sharp scissors for this. Yep. Whoops. And then we need to do a little sliver out of the top there. Can you see that? Little sliver. And then you're going to do a slither this side, and then a little tiny slither this side, like that. And so you will be left with that. So you've cut that side off there and a little notch out of there, and that folds over like that, and then over like that. Right then, so now we need some good strong glue. So I'm going to use some double-sided tape for this. So let's put that on. Fairly close, I would say put it on fairly close to the edge, but not too close to the edge. And trim. And then we want a piece up the top here. And trim. So this stuff is so sticky, it sticks to you. Right then, where's my piercing thing? So now you need to pull that off, both the top and the bottom at the same time. Get rid of those if they don't want to stick to you. Now the way I did this was press this top small piece down. Let me show you. Come closer. Come closer. Right, so press that top half an inch down and press that corner half an inch down onto it. And then you are going to close it down on itself. So working from this side, press that down onto itself, like that. And that's it. And that is good and stuck. And that is your little sleeve made. Just reaffirm those score lines, press them down good and firmly. And where's our book? Where's that gone? I just realised that I did these edges. I think I've missed out on that now. But maybe I can get these ones done. I just did them with the corner round a bunch. Not that it matters, but now we're going to put this into our sleeve. Perfect fit, wonderful. And that, let me pull you out. That is how I made those little recipe covers. So let me show you them all, because I've made quite a few and I love them. I think that they're really pretty, really quality, really pretty. So should you need any crafting supplies to make these yourself, please pop over to Arty Paper Crafters, where I'll be very pleased to be your demonstrator. And if you add the hostess code, I shall send you lots of lovely goodies at the end of the month, just from me personally. So that is all for me today. All the measurements will be on my blog, and I'll see you again in a couple of times. Thank you so much for subscribing. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you soon. Bye for now. Bye.